Hi, everybody. My name is Jill. Welcome to Tall Talks. This is a video channel that is kind of serving as a video diary information about my mental health journey through navigating severe generalized anxiety disorder and major depression. I want to make it clear that I am not a medical professional. This is not meant to be professional advice. This is just my story. If you need help, please reach out to a professional who can help you. And look at the links down below. There are crisis hotlines. There are links to resources that you can use. I just want to start off by saying thank you to everybody who took the time to watch my video and for all the support and love that I've received through messages and you can even see anyone who's friends with me on Facebook, the messages that I have. And I know that I have wonderful friends, family, and support. And for those of you that have reached out to me privately and confidentially, I want to give you a very big thank you for doing that. And people are saying, "Oh, Jill, you're so brave," but you reaching out to me, that's brave. That's really brave. And I really thank you. And it also is very validating for me to know that I am doing something that is reaching people and helping. And really, that is the point of this, is to share what my journey has been, and hopefully give somebody some hopes, some help them, encourage them to get help, or to share their story, or just to feel seen and know that this is that they're not alone. I started videoing this video, and I actually had got a FaceTime as I was starting from my old vice principal, and not he didn't mean to. He had sent me a wonderful message through Messenger, and then he called. So we had a little chat and a chuckle, and I thought that was a nice way. Um, it's almost like it was meant to be. He's one of my big cheerleaders early on in life, so that was cool. As I said in my first video, I'm totally winging this as far as what I'm going to talk about, and it may not actually follow this sort of linear, all the way through. I've got 28 years under my belt, so um, that being said, I am going to kind of pick up on this video where I did leave off, and I want to sort of cover up the first few months after I went home. And so I called this video Drive Through. And it's interesting, well, it's funny, because my mother, for as vividly as I remember, she couldn't remember this story, and we had a good laugh at it now, but it is absolutely not funny. Um, so where I left off, I was talking about, all the pacing that I was doing, and I was just doing laps and laps around my house. And I was describing how I was feeling. And, it's very hard sometimes to accurately put into words how it is that you're feeling. So I used to come up with a lot of different ways to try to describe it. So another one would be that I felt like I was like a locked in a closet with like slats, and I was like I'm looking through the closet, and the person in the closet knows that everything's okay, and it's going to, like, whatever's happening is that's the abnormal, and you're going to get back to your normal. But I can't unlock the closet. That's another way that I would have described it. And another way to describe the pit in my stomach. I know I did a little short sort of thing I put on Instagram yesterday where I'm like, we wake up and you've already worried the day away. So when I wake up in the morning, I have this pit in my stomach. It's like impending doom, like something bad is going to happen. And of course, over the years, I've developed different ways and strategies on how to work with that. Um, but the way that I would describe that, it sounds dramatic, would be, well, it feels like I have a gun to my head. I've never had a gun to my head, but I'm assuming that if I had a gun to my head, that's how I feel. And I've been able to get it down to like, okay, maybe somebody's just wielding a knife at me. So instead of it being so powerful as a gun, I've been able to get it down over the years to like maybe someone has. And my thoughts race so much first thing in the morning. I literally like I have to like take a deep breath and be like, what is going on? I just need my coffee. And like, what is your brain trying to find to ruin your day, basically? Um, so with that, uh, this video is called Drive Through, and it's about where I convinced my mom that I wanted to go to with her to pick up food. So I'm going to say this is about 3 weeks in from me being home, and I'm still doing the pacing. I have started medication, but it's still, it hasn't done anything yet. And I say, okay, I've got to take things into my own hands, and if I just go out, and because my parents had those slat blinds, and I used to just peek outside a slat and then like look outside the slat. And I'm living on a street in my hometown, Rescue Road, where I literally grew up. I grew up on the street. It's a different house at this point, but it's on the same street. Like everything, there's nothing new about it. This is all very, very much like home. And so I would peek. And now I know that that was agoraphobia, and that's how the anxiety was manifesting. But I've decided, okay, Mom, let's just do a quick 5-minute drive to the McDonald's drive through, right? And when I say 5 minutes, I'm being generous. And, so we get in the car. And I talked in my last video about how the human experience felt so weird, and I felt outside of my body. And, when I say things like that, people think, oh, schizophrenia or bipolar. I am not saying there are people who suffer from schizophrenia. It's not a joke. I'm just saying that this is called depersonalization. You feel like your body is in such a high state that you feel detached from it. And it's normal. It's something that we diagnose. Like, no, it's not, sorry, it's not normal, but it's a normal part of having anxiety, depression, or a mental illness. So anyway, I decide I'm going to go, and we start in the car. And as we're going, we drive by my old elementary school. We drive by my old high school. We get down, we drive by the Armocto Mall. These are places I've been to 1,000 times. This is not anything new or scary. And everything is building. Everything is like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. So anyway, but I want my food. And so we go into, this is before there was like more than one drive through, just the one drive through. So we get in, my mom, we order the food. And by this time, like I swear I had sweat dripping off me, but I mean, that could be dramatic. But I was literally holding on to the holy bleep bar, where, and I'm bracing the seat, and I am just like, Mom, I need out, I need out, I need out. And she's like, where are you gonna go? Like, you can't get out. There's a car behind us. She can't pull out. And I am crying. I am crying because I need to get back home. And So we get through and we get to the you pay at the one window, get to the next window to get your order. Can you pull up? We need you to wait and we'll bring your order out. Well, at that point, I was just like, no, I can't, I've got to go, I've got to go. And my mom's like, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go, Jill? You can't go. And I'm crying. And the person, I'm just literally shaking and bawling. And my mom's trying to calm me down, waiting for the person comes, brings our meals. Anyway, finally we get home and eat. And again, that is just another example of how it was in those early days. And what happens, right, is that your normal, like when you lose your normal, it's like you're grieving yourself, and all you want is to get back to being who you were, right? And I was trying so hard to get back to who I was. Why can I not experience a drive? If I cannot take a 5-minute drive through a drive-through in my hometown with my mom in a place that is always and has always been safe for me, like I'm doomed. Like what is going to happen? And all of that started to hit me at that point. And I had the one thing that I could do while I could not leave the house was eat. And I probably ate I ate out. My mom got me food from every place in the Armuckto and surrounding area and made me all of the comfort food. I was not eating anything healthy. And for those of you who know me, I was super weight sensitive and still am. And I had lost in the first 3 weeks, to give you an idea of the adrenaline, I had lost 15 pounds in 3 weeks. And the only reason I even know that number is because, you go to the doctor, they weighed you, and I had lost 15 pounds in 3 weeks. So I had nowhere for the adrenaline to go. So I'm not getting the medication isn't doing anything. I'm not sleeping. I'm going crazy. I am talking a little crazy. And I mean, it was terrifying for me. It was terrifying for my parents. It was terrifying for my friends. And when you are that young, right? And I think about kids who are even younger, and you're that young and you don't know, you don't, if you don't know you don't know how to articulate it, you don't know what's going on with you, you don't know if, like, your friends, hopefully, they don't know what any of this feels like. And you don't want them to know. I don't want my friends, family, anybody to know what this feels like. And you're trying to just articulate, like, it's very difficult because you can't find somebody who can say, yeah, I had that same thing happen to me. And, once, if you just let the meds kick in, and, or, go see, you can do some talk therapy, and, it will get better. I didn't have anyone who could tell me that it will get better. It was, it was bad. And so I guess that's also one of the driving forces behind some of the things that, or the reason that I'm doing this is because you will and can get better, like you can get better. And, but if you can just imagine that maybe if you're a parent or a friend who knows there's something off, or you know that something is off, all that anybody is trying to do is get back to their normal, right? If we were to look at blood pressure, and I use blood pressure because I know my dad took blood pressure medication, but like if we were to look at blood pressure, what are you trying to do? Get it back to normal, right? Um, as normal as can be. Uh, you know, you're trying as a diabetic to get your sugars to be normal. Now, I'm not saying that living with diabetes is any fun whatsoever. I'm just trying to compare and trying to normalize what that is. So because I was losing so much weight, and I still had um, no real anxiety relief, my mom called my super chill friend, and she came. She was home, and she came to watch me because I was not in a good space. So she came to watch me. Well, my mom went and got me some immediate anxiety relief medication, and I remember she could probably she was terrified. She was scared. And I mean, she had already listened to me go on about what is God and whatever. And this was who I was living with in, a day one, and still one of my best friends. It was terrifying for her, I'm sure. And I'm doing my laps, and I'm talking about how TV is weird, and I'm doing all these things. And, she's 20 years old, and she just feel, I know she felt so helpless, right? And so my mom goes down to get the medication, and when she comes back, I take one, and within about half an hour, I'm like, oh, I'm good. And I said to my mom, I'm like, okay, well, and my friend had her vehicle, and I'm like, well, let's go. We're gonna go to down through the McDonald's drive-through in Armagdo to get sundaes. And my mom's like, no, you're not. Are you kidding me? We just went through a crisis a week ago where you were literally, you are not leaving the house and going to the drive-through. We have just been through hell, and you're not. But it took away the bad feeling. And I mean, which is the point of the medication at the time. Um, it took away the bad feeling. And then I felt normal. And I'm like, okay, well, this is it. They've made a medication for me that will help me. And that's what I'm going to do. The problem is that these medications, again, everything is a tool in the toolbox. And these medications are not meant to be taken just constantly, right? You're given small amounts. They're supposed to help, but there's a high occurrence of getting addicted, just like pain medication and so on. It's the same idea. People who end up abusing the pain meds, and I'm being very general, not speaking from any type of medical advice, but they don't want to feel the pain anymore. So it's the same idea. I didn't want to feel the mental pain anymore. And what ended up happening is that I started using them too much, because every time that it would start to wear off, I would take it, even though I was only prescribed whatever it was, 2 to 3, I can't remember exactly, because I didn't want to feel that anymore. And I was done feeling that. And then, unfortunately, I ended up using too many, to the point where it was like, okay, you're not getting any more. And then you start to kind of withdraw, and then you have to go back to facing the feeling of the feeling of what's your sort of new normal. And it's really frustrating, and it was so maddening to me because they're just like, oh, wait for these medications to kick in, and this will just get you through the medication, and then we rip it away. Okay, you should be good now. And I wasn't. I wasn't. I am going to broadly talk about medications. I'm not going to name any medications for the reason that what may have been a nightmare for me or amazing for me may not be the experience for somebody else. Just like they make more than one, again, blood pressure medication, because not everyone works, right? So that is where I started to really, really lose hope, because I had found something that I felt like that is what is going to help me, and it made me back to feel my normal. And then it was like, no, you can't have that, and rip that away. And I'm not saying that that was right or wrong at the time, but it was just another layer of devastation, um, like literal devastation, because I couldn't have the one thing that was working for me, and I didn't have the resources to have any more. And I will say, like, tools in the toolbox. Everything are tools that you can use to help you manage, just like um, your if you need to lose weight and you have to, maybe you exercise, but you also watch your diet, and um, you journal or count calories, whatever it is. Those are like all the different tools that you're going to use. So I will end this video, part of the video, to say that if the reason that I called this the drive-through was because of that incident. But then I started thinking, and I'm like, you know what? That's also actually a really good metaphor for how they treat mental health. And when you, our healthcare system, I'm not going to get into it, we know it's not good, right? We know that that's not good. I think we can all agree. But you use the drive-through, okay. So, oh, you have a headache, or you have broke your ankle. We're going to put a cast on it. Just drive through, right? You know what your symptoms. You do some diagnostic tests. It's like, okay, your blood pressure, your blood sugar, um, we're going to go through, okay, blood pressure medication, we're going to test it. Is your blood pressure good or bad? You have a diagnostic tool, and then you have your blood pressure machine, and then you go and you test it, and then you adjust accordingly, and you get your blood pressure under control. And it's sort of like a drive through system. Like it's not, like, I'm not downplaying the fact that you have bad blood pressure, but I'm just saying it's a quick fix. Like, there's nothing major, there's no trauma here. When you are trying to deal with a mental health illness, and what you need is, you need a sit down restaurant with about 10 courses, a 10-course meal. You need to have assessments to know what type of issue it is that you're dealing with, and and then you can make your decisions. You need, potentially, you take medication if you go that route. You need those to kick in. You need to have therapy. You need to be able to be given different tools to talk about. Maybe there is some past trauma. Maybe there's a reason why you're going through this. And you can talk through that and help you heal that way. Maybe you need to learn how to meditate. Maybe you need to learn like the occupational therapy and like how you need to work, right? Maybe you need to work a little bit differently. Um, that's when you start losing your normal and everything is pulled away from you, everything that you feel like is your normal. It takes so long for us to get all of those pieces in. And I understand that therapy is a process and the medications are a process, but it's not a drive-through solution. It's not like, oh, here's an antidepressant, take that 4 weeks. No, you won't need any time off. You'll start to feel better in 7 to 14 days and come back. And if it's not working, we'll see what else is new. It's not, I'm not, and don't work. Psychiatrists, yeah, you might be able to get in to see one in a year, right? And that's the same for a lot of other things. But I'm just talking about my mental health, the mental health journey. And then we wonder why we're losing kids, right? Like, so you imagine, uh, so I feel like us as a society, if we can make it normal, it should be normal when you go to your doctor to not just check your physical symptoms, right? And who even has like yearly checkups anymore, unless you have a really good, like, who even has that? But it should be a physical symptom, and then it should be an assessment on your mental health. It should be totally packaged. That should be a no-brainer. We're checking both. I said I was wrapping up this video, and I know I can get on a tangent, but I do want to end it on a positive note, and here's the positive. The positive is that if you're watching this video, you're still here with us. So that matters. The second thing is that I'm still here. So even though I am talking about my very helpless times right now, I am a mother. I am a wife. I am an amazing daughter and probably the favorite child. I have worked for the same company for 26 years. I have a home. I have dogs. I am sitting in front of a camera and I am articulating and I'm telling you my story. So if you feel like you don't have the hope and you're in this helpless stage, please reach out to somebody. I guarantee you that the world is not a better place without you. No one's going to convince me that the world is a better place without me. And we hopefully this helps you see that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And in a world, especially right now, that seems so dark and dreary, you're worth it. And I'm sorry. And you really do matter. And I'm so glad that you are still here. Thank you.